brand new MPC Studio Mark 2. And it's pretty obvious here. You can see we've got our track select here. This is sample select, program select, sample start, sample end, tuning, all dealing with sampling. So you're already going to notice that this is way different than any other standalone that's out now, which means it's different than the MPC X, the MPC 1, and the MPC Live 2, and then the standard MPC Live and the Touch even. This is mainly just a controller. So the setup is designed to be just for controlling. Now this arrangement is pretty unique for an MPC, but I kind of like it because it's easier for me to get around on my software if I know what's going on here. I need to know everything that's going on here actually on my MPC Studio Mark 2 in order for me to work it with my MPC 2.10 software. So, for example, here, this is track. And we'll see a track appears here, which is MIDI track 1. If I press it again, it gives me audio tracks. I press it again, it's back to MIDI tracks. So there are two functions here, so MIDI and audio. And when I press the Shift key, I now go to select the sequence, and then the track select turns red. Got our MPC Studio hooked up, and I want to talk about the browser now. So in this new MPC, we have a button here called browser, right? So as you can see in the software, you don't see the browser. So if I press this button here, we now do. Now, this first part of browser is the browser for our hard drive. You may have samples on your hard drive you've gotten from somewhere. There are tons of them everywhere. And of course, we at SampleKings, we give away tons of samples on our website. As a member, you would always get that. But you want to store them somewhere. You want to store them on your hard drive. And then you want to find them. So normally what I do, I put on my hard drive here. As you can see here, I can move my data wheel up and down here and look for something. I may want to go in here. I click. That's the wrong place, right? In order to correct this, I will just press Shift and press browser button again, and it goes back up. So when I click on a folder, I'm going in a directory. If there's a folder in that folder, I click on that folder, that's deeper inside the directory. So when I want to go back up, I just press Shift and the browser button. So now I'm going to turn my data wheel, come to user, I'll click here, and I see my files there in a folder called MPC Sample Set V1. So I'll click on that again, and now we have some samples here. So turn my data wheel, okay, cool. I can listen to the samples, pretty much. That's cool there. So what I want to do next probably is go back up. I'll press Shift and browser. I'm back there, and I'm back here to user. I'm back in application. I want to be in user though. I'll stay there. Now what I want to do next, I want to look at some files, let's say in the browser section for the expansion packs. I'll press browser button again, and now we're in the expansion packs. Now, of course, here, which I was surprised it didn't do this, but there's no way to use anything here. Even if I come and select, let's say, I'm going to select a specific expansion. This one right here, right? And if I turn my data wheel, I'm only going to actually search what's here, right here. So I go to here. I only get to search what's right here in this window here, right? And what the window search gives me here. And that is based on programs. Now, if I go to here, I go to presets, we would see presets if I had some in there, projects if we had them in there, sequences, which you do have in here, and then I could just go to my data wheel and it just instantly goes there. So the data wheel is the only way to actually search anything in here. I was hoping to be a cursor so I can go back up and forth, but I guess the best thing to do is use your computer since the cursor's right here. So I would use the computer cursor to try and find a sample pack I want to use. Let's say I want to go to this new one, which is called the Gold Dust, which came with the software, which you can always download. It's right here. We see sequences. Then if I want to look for a specific filter, I want to filter for just the programs, I just come there and I turn my data wheel. And I can come see presets, no presets, projects. Now, that's the project that's in there. I can load that project in if I want to. Let's say we want to. So we just come in with this, press this button in here. I'll do it. But first of all, I can also just move my look for files like this. Now, once I press this button, this plus sign button, see what happened? It's trying to load. If I try to go back up, nothing happens. So I try to use a plus or minus button to try to load something in here. So I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to say cancel that. And I'm going to go up again. So when I use my plus or minus button, I'm not actually able to scroll. I just get the option to load this particular item in. So in this case, I'm just going to load it in actually, but I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to load it in by just pressing this button down right here. I can say yay or nay here. Now in order to do that, I need to use my cursor. There's no option here for me to use the data wheel or the plus or minus button to get around. So I would just come in here and just press OK. It loads it in. I can press play from the top. And it loaded it in. Pretty quick, pretty simple. And that's pretty much how you work the browser. Okay, so we loaded something in here, of course, and we've got it. That's good. Enough of that. But you'll also notice if you load something in, it'll be just more than just that one sequence. So here I am here, and we have track select right here, right? And so I want to see other sequences. Now, right below this track select, you'll see the words called SEQ select, and that's sequence select. So it's pretty simple. I'll press shift to do that. And now this track select turns into sequence. And you'll notice also in the display screen here, and you better look on your software too, you'll see I can scroll through the various sequences that are in there. So here's one more here. That's one there, it's two. And here's the third one. This is in the Gold Dust sequences, or Gold Dust expansion pack rather. That one there. And then we have another one right here. Stop that. And then we got a break here, right? Then after that, nothing else is there. So once you do load these packs in, you can sort of play with them and I guess and maybe rearrange it if you want. But it'll be a great help for you to understand how to work your MPC Studio by just taking apart some track you got in here already. So what I want to do next, I want to load up the masterclass sequence that Akai has given us to like work with. Because you can see here, as I go back and press the track select button, you'll see there's only one track. There are no tracks here. So I'm going to do a whole sequence, a whole project that has tracks and sequences and everything else involved for our lesson plan. And I have it here actually already. So I'm going to go in here right now. We'll look at the MPC right here. I'm going to look for, let's see, preferences, services. Here we go. We're going to File, and we're going to go to Load Recents. And there it is, MPC Studio Masterclass Project Files. So I'll load this in. And there you go. And now I have a bunch of different tracks. As you can see, I'm scrolling through my tracks here. And now we're ready to go. We'll press a little bit of play here. Stop that. Let's get started. So right now I'm in my main window view. You'll see that, of course, I'm just looking over here at this home. This is the main mode we're in right now. And so here in main mode, if you're not there, you can press this here right in main mode. And so here I've got my track select, of course, and this is the sequence select. This button works two ways through that feature. So that feature is by pressing shift. Of course, I come to here and I have my sequences, and I can see different sequences in this loaded program. There you go, right there. It's loaded project, rather. And so we can see what we've got here. Now I want to see probably the number of tracks we have here. So I would go to press this button by itself. I'll see the tracks. So we can see we've got a drum kit. We got 808 bass on track 2. We have hype. And you can see that right here on the display on your MPC Studio. It's kind of small, but you can also see it on your software as well, which is bigger. And you can see it right here on your software where it says track right there. So I'll turn the data wheel again. We got drum perks, vocal chops, Fender Rogues, glide lead, piano, lo-fi, gate lead synth, and we got an X drum or dumb tabs kit. And then we got vocal chops. We got some FX dent kit. We got Odyssey pads, bright zapper, and we got Odyssey lead. And we got pluck. And after that, that's it. So we got approximately 17 different tracks. You can have a lot of tracks inside the software, obviously. That's what we're trying to show you. So it's always cool to have that ability to see it here on the software and actually verify what you've got on the computer and also on your MPC Studio. So also I can come here to program. This is program. So a program, obviously we saw a bunch of different programs. We want to see what they are actually. So we can come to here and you'll see I can change programs. And not all of them are probably being used the same way. So actually for one kit, you'll see the program will be right below here. It says program select, and here you can select the program. Right, I can select the program to put in that particular track. Now also, I go to track here, and on my track again, I can see my audio files. So in case you've recorded vocals, you have some audio files, some sort of speech or whatever, or chanting, whatever is on there you've recorded audio-wise, those will be audio tracks. And you'll see those as well. So there are two options, audio tracks and MIDI tracks. Now next here we have this button, which is program. I can see my various programs, select the program for any particular track. And of course, you'll see that also in the software. When you come right here in the software, you can click right here and select the program, which I find easier than going through the little screen that we see on our MPC Studio. But if you want to do that, you can come to here, just turn the wheel and get a different program. Pretty simple to do. Now, if I press the shift button and press the program select, we can pick a type. So this current type for this program is drum. And you may even want to see the type of program that a particular sequence or track has, and that track may have a different program. You want to see what kind of program is used, particularly when loading in projects from the MPC expansion packs. Now, we have a drum, we can have a key group, we can have a plugin, MIDI, and a clip, and a CV. These are the various type of tracks you should probably be familiar with, since you are, I guess since you do own maybe this MPC Studio. And it's pretty simple stuff. So, we know that. We'll press back here, and we're back to Program Select. So next, we're going to talk about the Mode button. That's this button right here. It says Mode. And so you'll notice that below each or some pads and some buttons, there's a name. There's a writing there. Like here in the browser, there's up. Under program select, there's track type. Under sample start, there's loop start. There's sample end here, nothing there. But under tuning, there's fine tune. Under undo, there's redo. Here, you'll see we have zoom. We have a vertical zoom. So this must be a horizontal zoom. When you press that one, and when you press shift, it becomes a vertical zoom. Kind of cool. But here on the pads, there are also names here. For example, pad 16 is a sampler. Pad 14 is a looper. Pad 16 is save. Pad 1 is track view. Grid view for 2. Wave for 3. List edit for 4. You'll see sample, edit, program edit, pad mixer, song, MIDI, control, next sequence. They're all here, right? And so let's press this down. We're going to press this down here, and now you'll see pads have changed colors. You also see that same thing in the software, which you'll see right here in our software section. And so pad 1 is track view. And pad 5 is sample, 6 is program edit, 7 is pad mixer, and 8 is channel mixer. Other ones you already know, but notice this, that what happens here in this pad view, this is a grid view. So I see it in terms of grid. I press that pad and press mode. I can come here to mode then and press the next pad next to it, which is wave, which is pad 3. And now we see it in terms of wave. Wave files. They're actually samples, right? And we see this in terms of wave files. Let's press play. That's just that one sound. I hit a pad now. I hit that one pad there, and now I'll press play. I hit this pad here. So we're seeing the actual samples. If I hit a pad, we'll see that pad here in the wave view. I'll press mode again, and we're going to hit this first one over here, the next one rather. That's wave. We're going to hit this one called list edit. And this is list edit. This is a list of everything. And you'll see here in this list, as you see on your computer, on the software, you'll see it's a list of all the sounds and the various times they were hit, what the pad note was. You'll see here its length and its velocity and there's mode type and there's a value right here. And if I press play, start from the top, it just scrolls down past everything that sounds off. I press stop, it's at the current place where the playhead is. If I go back to grid, I'll press mode and go back to grid. The playhead is this line right here that it crosses. At that point in the playhead, several instruments have been struck, and they make that sound that they're supposed to make because they're sample sounds, as you probably already know. So that's how that works. I'll press play start again. Is my playhead going across there? I'll press stop. Now next, I'll press mode. And here we have sample edit. I can edit samples. I have program edit. I can edit the program. I'll come back here. I'll press mode again. As program edit. I'll press mode again. And now I have pad mixer. I got a mixer for my pads. I'll press mode again. I got channel mixer. Mode again, we have next sequence. Mode again, we have song. We have MIDI control. Now, here in MIDI control, I can press mode. I can't even get out of it, right? There's mode right there. We can't get out of MIDI control from this spot here. So what I normally do, I'll normally come back to pressing the main button, and I'm back. So I'm back home. Main takes you right back home. So I go back to mode here again, and I can go to media. And here's my media browser. Well, guess what? My media browser's right there. Kind of cool. I'm back here again. Now to get out of the media browser, you need to go here inside the software, down here, and just click on that one time, and that will close that browser out. I'll press mode again here, and we're in the sampler. I'll press mode again now. We're in the looper. And mode again, we're in the sequencer. And if I want to save this system or save this track in this program and project, whatever I'm going to save, I will save it now. I'll press mode and press this button right here. And I will save whatever I'm doing. This is an important button. It's an important mode step. It's important to save whatever you do because you don't want to lose it. And you want to go back to make sure everything is the way you left it. And that's how we use the mode button. I want to talk about one more thing here. I'll go back to main again here. We're in main. You'll notice here that if I press shift here, the main button has track view underneath it. I'll press this now, and that's track view there too as well. So track view is in two places. That's how we use our mode button. So next I want to look at this button right here, which is sample select. So I can press this button and nothing actually happens, but you'll see in the monitor screen, you'll see right here, it says sample select, nothing's been selected. I turn my data wheel, something's been selected, but we can't see it. Well, we can't see it because we need to be in sample edit mode. So we're gonna go to right here, it says mode, and press sample edit. That's pad number 5 for those of you home watching. And once we're there doing that, we got some sounds. Oh, look, there's a sample already in there. Look at that. I can go to none again, but I turn my data wheel and I can find a sample. I can find any sample that's inside the software. It's kind of cool. I got samples right here. I'm looking at these samples here and I can actually, well, I can adjust them. I can come to here and select the start. See, that says start, sample start, which is right there. I'll turn my data wheel. And you notice on the software where the green is at, that green little flag on top at the beginning is giving me the start point. I can select any start point I want, keep turning the data wheel, and I can move that start point up and up in increments up there, closer and closer to the end. If I select this button right here which says sample end, I'm right here, sample end, turn my data wheel again, and now we're finding a different endpoint. Right there with that. Now if I come to here, I'm moving in small increments. And what's happening here is that by pressing the shift button, I'm moving in smaller increments as I try to move up and down the length of this sample. Now, otherwise, see that? That's large increments and they're smaller. And I can go back here to sample start, do the same thing, press down shift, and I can do that. Let's say I'm doing that. I'm like, where the hell am I? You don't know, right? So you want to come here. Maybe I go to zoom. I'll press zoom and I want to zoom in. Whoa, I'm zooming in now. Check that out. So we're zooming in. Okay, this is getting to be fun now. We're zooming in, and next I want to go to shift and sort of move up. Whoa, look at this. Turn zoom off though first. Right? We got zoom going on here. I go back to my sample start point. Zoom is now off. Now I'll press shift down. And now you see I'm moving in small increments. I can move the increments based on my view. Right? So we can see that we're moving along here. And what I don't see how the increments are, but that's okay. I always want to know how many increments I'm moving in, whether it's tens or ones or hundreds, I don't even know. But I changed my start point to right there. That's kind of cool. Or I take my finger off of shift and I just a couple of turns here and I'm back to the top. I can go to zoom again, press zoom. Now I can zoom back into my full sample size. Now I wouldn't press shift vertical because I only see a vertical view of the sample, but that's how we can edit our samples using the MPC Studio, our start and end point, and select our samples. Okay, we got some samples here. I want to hear some stuff here. That's a pretty long sample right there. I don't need to hear that one. No, that's a nice sample. Ooh, I like that one too. It's crackling. I don't need to hear this one, so we're going to go past this one. If you're using this kind of stuff, let me know, because I don't even use that. Here's a good one. a DJ sample. Now, I can hit a pad here, of course. I'm hitting pad 1 to trigger that sample. Now, I have a tuning button right here. And this is fine tune. I press this fine tune button. It's now lit. You'll see in the display right here, this tiny little display, it says tuning. That's at 0 right there. So I want to come over here and sort of change that. Hit the pad. Ooh, that's a higher pitch for tuning. And a lower pitch. So I can tune this sample up and pick the tuning I want to use, or back to normal. That's pretty cool. But I may want to fine tune this sample. So to do that, I'll press Shift. I'll press it here. Now that tune turns into a red tune. And now as I turn the data wheel, you'll see it tunes it in the finest of increments. That's just like 0.01. I can't even tell the difference right here. So I have to keep turning this knob, and that's 1. All right, so it's 100 turns to get it to that point, 100 clicks to get there. But as you can see, I can fine tune it. If I like the way that sounds, let's say I move to a tuning here, I tune to there, then I want to adjust the tuning, I'd come in, press Shift, press Tune, and I would adjust my tuning to match something. This is always cool to do with drums, or you want to tune up something like this little cut here. If your song's in C or D, you know, I do go a professional route, and I prefer to tune everything up because that way we have harmony. And harmony is a beautiful thing to have when doing music. So that's how we can tune up any sample with our MPC Studio. Yes, so right now I want to talk about sample select and then how to use the pads. These pads right here. So these pads, those pads right there, and what they mean. And these are the same pads, the same colors. You notice the pads here are the same that you see right here on a computer. So in the software. So I want to find a, and that's too long. I'm in sample select. Next one. Okay, we'll use this sample right here. Or maybe there's one more I might like more. This is perfect right here. The pads. This first pad will play the entire sample from the start to the very end. This pad here will play from the start. So this means it's not playing. I need to move the start point. I come here to sample start. I want to move this into, let's say, right about here. Right there. Now I'll press this pad again, which is play from start. So it plays from the beginning of the area that is not selected for the start. And this one says play to end. So it plays from anywhere near the end to the end of that particular sample that's selected. This is play from end. There's no end. I'll press sample end here. I want to find the end. We'll make this the end. As a matter of fact, we'll come in a little closer. That's our end. So now I'll press this one. Okay, so this plays the part that has not been selected after the end. This way we can fine tune our sample with our MPC Studio. Now here, of course, this is like a, you gotta hold it down. Note on. That's hold. This is one shot. Hit it once, it's good. This is one shot. Hit that once, it's good. This is one shot. This is one shot. These are all one shots. Right here, you gotta hold them down. from end and end. So these 4 pads, these 8 pads right down here, the first 4 are one shot, the next one is note on, hold the note. Pretty simple stuff. Now here, this is play all the sample. This will play the entire region. What has not been selected, your specific start and end, and also what's at the end. Now this is a one shot, this one here. The green pad, which is pad number 9. Number 10 here is play sample. One shot. Here's play sample. Hold it down to get it. Pretty simple stuff. Here's loop. I'm looping it. But I gotta hold that down and loop it. Okay, now it's just easy for me to do. I looked at the sample, I heard it, and I was listening. Okay, this will be good. That's from the beginning again. See this here? Play to start again. Play from sample start. So it plays from the sample start to the very end, even past the endpoint selected. And here, that's just hit it. It'll loop by itself, over and over. This is a great way to find a loop, to figure out where the loop is. You already know how to zoom in with the zoom, and then how to get a good start. I hit this again, there you go, it stopped. And that's how we can use these sample pad editing features on our MPC Studio. Okay, so what I want to do next, I want to record in a track that's already been recorded upon. I want to just add a new part, but what I want to do here is I want to show how to use the Quantize button. It's pretty simple. This button here is Quantize, right? So I'm going to come in here and record something. I can go to record here, as you can see, and now on the software you see it's in record, and then I want to come to here. I'll hit this button right there. Yeah, and I'm ready to go. So as you can see there, we got some stuff on record. So I'm going to take some stuff off of this track. There we go. And now I'm going to press play start. Stop. Now I don't see it, but watch this. I'm going to come here to this button right there. Now we see it. That's my retrospective record, which is Command, or rather Shift plus Command plus R. And you see, we can see what was recorded right there. And I can play it back. What I want to do here is I want to zoom in. So I'm going to press the zoom button. And now I can zoom in. So I want to zoom in. There we go. We're zoomed in here. And I'll play from the beginning again. That sounds like it's not really good. So I come back to here. I'm going to scroll back here. And now what I want to do is I want to actually come in here and just select this. So I'm going to come in here and select this right here on the software. I select all these right there. Now what I want to do is quantize. Now I'm going to quantize to 16th notes. You already know if I press this in here, it's on or off. That's off, and put it back on there now. Now it's on. I can press Shift and this browser, I see it's set to 16th notes. So once I press Shift and I press the time correction, which is for config, we'll see there that's 16th notes. Now next what I want to do here is press Quantize. And you'll see the notes have moved. You'll see the notes have moved to the nearest quantized value. We'll play it from the top again. Stop. And that's how you do it. Quantize. Okay, I want to go back to main mode, so let's press main. Okay, cool. Next, I want to talk about the zoom features. Boom. Here's zoom. Zoom is lit. I'm in main mode right here. I'm going to Well, look at, I'm zooming in, zooming in. I'm zooming into the nearest increment here. That's about just one beat of song right there, right? I'll zoom back out and back here. That's pretty quick. So let's see, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm already back to a full zoomed in, right? Or am I? Apparently I am. Now, of course, on the software, you can zoom as well. I come in the software and I'm zoomed in here. I'll press a little thing right here. I'll try and look, I'm zoomed in totally. We're zoomed into everything too as well in the software. Primarily that's what that button does. But also, I can come here and press shift and press zoom vertical. And you see the red, that means we went vertical. When you see the red, we went vertical. We press shift, we go to here. We're in the vertical zoom. Now I can come to here. I get a vertical zoom. I can zoom in here and look at stuff. I can then come here on my computer and then scroll down, scroll up and down, look for a specific track. I zoom vertically. I'll come back to here, press that one time. I want to zoom horizontally. And now I can really zoom in on what I'm looking at in a particular section of a track. That's a great feature to have. I really love it. It's really great to have the zoom on the sample and here within our grid. Okay, so when I'm in zoom here also, I guess I can see right here on the monitor, the percentage of zoom is here also as well. It's kind of cool. So I'm back to here to 0. And I can go to here, let's do shift and press zoom again. And then I want to bring this down somewhat here to maybe 20% is good. And then I want to make sure that the view here is going to be not too nuts. There you go. I can see these little dots. It's important to see the events because my next lesson is going to be about undo and redo. And of course, we can undo and redo anything here. So, boom, I'm back here. This is sampling how I was there before, right? I can press redo. Shift, redo, boom. That sampling is back where it was at before. I'll press main screen and we're back in our main, which is the home. And we have our setup here to see a little more closer into our grid view here using the zoom. Now, that was one feature in undo and redo. I got stuff here I can record, right? So let's say if I want to go to another track, almost a jingle bell sound, like a little close hi-hat there too, which is kind of weird, but I may want to record here. So I may press record and play from the start. Okay, let's undo that. Actually, nothing got recorded actually. Nothing got recorded that time. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here to the top, press stop. And now what I want to do is I want to record on this track. So I'm gonna come over here to the software, click on my grid. I think I heard that sound right there, pad number 8. I like that sound. So I want to record inside this sequence. But I want to get a metronome going on here, so my point here is I think I got to press like shift and this button. Oh, here a metronome now. Let's go to overdub. I press shift and again. We hear nothing. So that's how we can turn our metronome on without using the software. But in the software, I want to have a count in. So I will normally go up here to like tools, metronome. I want to see my count in. It's off. I want to put a count in for the actual record function. So now when I start to record, we hear that click going on. I know I can record there, right? It's kind of cool. Now next, what I want to do is probably overdub something. This little part I've been talking about before, this part here. So to record in this sequence, I'm going to need to do some recording. I may do overdub. But I may want to record on this track. So obviously to record on a track, it's important for me to record on the track specifically. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go in here and make sure we got this button here selected here. And that's our retrospective record, which is Shift Command R. Now, I got my track selected right there. And I'm going to record in that track. I think something's already on that track. I'm going to try something else. I'll do the yo. So we'll come to here, I'll press overdub. Okay, see, nothing happened there, right? But watch this. I come back there, hit this retrospective right there, and now that stuff appears. So what happens is that the software knows I did something. If I want to see it, I have this retrospective record. It goes back and it sees it. It's kind of cool. I'll press undo. Now you'll notice here, there's this button here called tap tempo. It keeps blinking, and it blinks and blinks and blinks, right? It's letting you know how that tempo is. That blink is telling you this is the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, see? And then if I press play, it's blinking in time. If I keep tapping this, it's waiting to start. Once I tap that, it blinks in time. The BPMs you'll see up here on our software is 96 BPMs per minute. Now, that's beats per minute, BPM. So here's my tap tempo. If I want to change the tempo of something, I want to change that tempo and make it slower. And I'll press play start. That's slower right there. So this tap tempo is based on the number of times that you tap that tempo. Now 3 taps, the software inside this computer will say, okay, 3 taps, the distance between tap 1, 2, and 3 is this amount of BPMs, as you just saw. Or I can come back in here a little faster. Okay, that's cool right there. Now, I want to change this generally. I don't want this light to blink all the time. So what I'll do normally is I'll go back into the software. I'll go into preferences somewhere here in the preferences. And here's preferences right here. And then I want to find out where that's at, that tap tempo thing, which I do believe it's somewhere here in general. And there it is right there. Tap tempo, 3 taps. Here it says here, flash tap tempo light. That's checked. I'm going to uncheck that. And no longer will that light flash. This is my preference. Whatever you do, do your thing. And then here also, we have this tap tempo where you can do either 2, 3, or 4 taps. I think 3 is good enough. You can keep practicing that in case you need to sometimes you got to change the tempo, whether it's a rapper. Singers particularly, tempo changes are needed half the time to make sure that they can sing at that rate. And sometimes you may have an artist that needs to be at a certain pitch because they can only sing at that pitch. You may want to change the tempo and then speed it back up, whatever. But tap tempo is a very useful feature. And to get out of this here, from preferences, I want to go right here to OK. I'm in OK. I'm out of it. And that's tap tempo. I want to talk about this plus and minus button. It's useful everywhere. I'll go to tuning here. I'm going to select the drum track. I'm in track number 1. As you can see here from tracks. I can go to here. I can change the tuning of that drum. Back to here. I'm tuning the layer. First layer of that drum. Tune the first layer. I can come to here and track. Select track. I can move up and down in tracks. I can press shift and press sequence. I can move up and down in sequence. I can press select back again. I go to program. I can move through programs. So plus and minus works everywhere. Now I want to talk about this button right here, and that's the automation read and write. So we can automate pretty much almost everything. So I want to do something right here real quick here. This is reading, so I'll play it back from the top. Stop. Now I'm going to go to write. I'm going to play it back from the top. I'm going to do some editing. So I'm going to go back to write. So I'm going to go here. Make sure I go back to the top there. Then I'm going to go on my computer here and try to do some editing. So I'm going to come to here. I'm going to do some muting here a little bit. And I'll press play start. And stop. So now I'm going to play it back from the top here and read. And you see the automation happening with the mute buttons. I'll press stop. And then I can also come to here. I'm just going to say, well, I don't want to hear that. So I'll press shift. I'll turn automation off. I'll play it from the top. I'll press stop. It's that easy. You automate, play it back. You can write and rewrite. I can come back here and here if I like it. I want to write again. I'll go from the top again. It'll play back what I've done already. I added something that time. Okay, let's go back to the top. I added a solo. Play from the top. And that's how we can automate a mix just using our mute buttons in our MPC Studio. Now also automation here, I have it cut off right now and I'm playing it back. I'm not hearing anything here at all, right? Obviously. If I don't like the automation, I want to get rid of the whole thing I've done and start over again, you're just going to press your erase button. And once you do here, you'll see here on a computer here, we have the sequence, we have tracks here, which is what I was actually using, this drum kit track here, and then we have starting to the end. And it says all, but I don't want to erase everything. I just want to erase the automation. I come to here, automation, yeah, I'll do that. I'll press do it. And all the automation is gone now. Even when I turn this back on, I go to shift, and I'm back on there. It's in read mode, as it tells you up here on the screen. And then you just press play start. All that automation is gone. Now you can automate the volume levels. You can automate just about everything in the software that you're using in a particular track, including plugins actually. So it's kind of cool using automation, but if you get too exhaustive with it and you get lost, you can always just erase the tracks, automation, and start over again. But it works really great here with our MPC Studio. So we have timing correction here, and of course you use it a couple times, and this is pretty much basically what it is. You come to timing correction here, and then you're going to press it in, and it's off. I can press it in, it's on, and once it's on, I can go to shift here, configure it, and then I want to configure it based on my timing correction. It's going to be 16th notes, 8th note triplets, 8th notes, quarter note triplets, quarter notes, 1 bar. Then I can go all the way up to 32nd note, 32nd note triplets, all the way to 64th note triplets, which is a really small increment of each movement. But I'm going to go here to 16th notes, right? And I'll leave that there like that. And so that's cool for me. It's on good. I go back here to track. And so here, you'll notice we have this event going to the right and one to the left and to the right here, these event buttons. And so you'll notice in the software on a computer that you can move by 1/16th note every time I press this down, because my timing correction is set to 16th notes. If I go here, I can go to the right or to the left either way. And this is a great way to actually sort of zoom into a small section you want to get to. But suppose you want to be in 32nd notes. So you would just go to timing correct here, shift, configure. I go to 32nd notes right there. That's good. I'm going back to here, track, and then here, that's like 8 divisions between each beat. And so 8 times 4 is 32. And that's what you see here happening when I click this down. And if I were to go to 64th notes, that would be even more. That would be 16 steps between 1 and 2. So this helps you to actually get there if you're going to do something in a way where you're going to need to see events in that way. But otherwise, for me, I'll go back here. I'm going to go 16th notes. It's easier for me to get around. And then once I'm there, I'm good. Now this other set here, these two on the side of locate, go by bars. As you can see here, I can be in one bar. Let's say I go here first and I move to the second beat. And then I hit this button here that says end. I hit it once. It goes to the next bar. So it doesn't move in increments. It goes right to the next bar. No matter where it's at, it goes to the next bar. So I can move in bars to the left or to the right of that sequence. It's kind of cool. You see it in grid mode. You'll see the same thing also in any mode you're going to be in, because this moves in increments totally. I can move anywhere to here. I have my locate button. So I can go anywhere pretty much. I push a locate button in, and you'll notice here we have these amber colored pads right here. That's pads 9 through 14. And then we have pads 1 through 6 are green. So what will happen if I'm in play or I go somewhere in the sequence, I can select the point that I would call my location point. I want to go back to for something. I may want to go back to check on vocals or to add something inside this for a mix, or go back there to check the reverb or something. Whatever it is, I want to keep that locate point. So I would come to here, let's say I could be in play. I may want to put that first point in right there. Right? That's my first point. And my next point would be here. Second time that comes in, I'll come in for my third point. Okay, cool. Now I'll press stop. So I can go to those points by going to locate here, my first point, and press play. Now go to here, locate. Try this one. That takes you to bar 5. It's to bar 9. That's it, to bar 13. So once I tap here, I know where I'm at. Now I can also just go here, just use this button here. I'm going to get to, let's say, bar 24, right there. I would just come in here, locate, and I'd say, okay, this is going to be bar 24. My locate's right there. That's bar 24. I'll go back to the top. I'll press locate. I'm going to go to bar 24. Press this in first. Then here. Now go to here, 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 here. I can change any location I want to change, no matter what. And so, as I do that, I come to here. You can start anywhere. I go back to here again. Bar 24, I go to here. I locate the bar 24. I press locate. I'll say that's 24. I can come back here again and go back to, I want to go to 5 now. And I'll press this in. That's 5. Press this in. That's 9. This is 12. Locate. That's 12. And that's what these are going to do right now. Press locate. Bar 24. Bar 12. Bar 9. Bar 5. I can switch around anywhere, just mess it up, do it again, switch it anytime I want to switch it, and I can also undo it. So it's pretty cool, easy way to get around. You can do it while it's rolling, or you can go to that point and just make your location point. It's that easy on your MPC Studio. Now here we have the transport section: record, overdub, stop, play, play start. Pretty simple stuff. I've been play starting for a while. I can stop here, play from where the playhead is at. Stop that. I want to overdub, maybe right here. I'll press overdub. Once I do, you see they're blinking here. I can press overdub and I can start hero from play start. I press overdub here. Got my count off going. See that? I'll press stop. I'll press overdub again. I'll press play start. Excellent. Now, join all you want to do when you're doing this record is to record over something. So let's say I'm going to record something. What I need to do first of all is go to that track. Since this is this drum kit track, I'll press the record here, signifying I'm going to record on this track. Now, if I want to record, I can press record here, play start. Now watch, it'll erase everything at this point. So I press stop, I press stop there. It erased everything. So it records over everything there, it erased it all. So I'll come back in here now, and I'm going to press undo. And then I'll press play start. And we're back to the top again. That's recording, pretty simple. And I'll come there and press overdub. And then I want to overdub something. I pick something I want to do. Press play start. I recorded. Press stop. So I've added a part in. So I'm just overdubbing on top of what's already been recorded. I'm just adding to that. I don't want that. It sounds like sleigh bells and it's Christmas time. No, I don't think I'm going to go with that one. So that's how it works. Stop. Okay, so I've done this here, playing it back, and sometimes I want to check out if everything works. I'll use pad mute. And once you do use pad mute, you'll notice here that the pads, all these pads have gone yellow. And you'll see also in the software that here, that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 banks have sounds on them. Now A, B, and C have sounds because they're yellow, but also D has sounds here as well, as you can see. So I can go to this bank here. You see it's yellow. That's B. Here's C. Here's D. And you'll see the same thing here as you look at it. Now we obviously see that E, F, G, and H have nothing on them. Pretty obvious stuff there. So I may want to start just taking stuff out and just practice and see what's there. I would come in, press play start, and say, and take out. Just take out a few instruments here. Put some back in. Let me go to this bank. And this bank. And then this bank. And back to this bank here. I got one sound playing here of all these instruments in the drum kit. Now you can always tell which sounds are playing because they'll blink. If you see them blink, you'll notice is they sort of like blink. You know, this one works, this one works. This one's on, this one's on. You can put them on as you're just going through mixes sometimes. That's what I always do. None of these are working in here, but it's just a mix that was given to us by Akai. Go back to the top again. Gotta get used to what you're doing. And what you do, it's a lot of fun to actually sit around and mute pads, turn them off and on, and you can do it within the MPC Studio. For this thing being a small device, I do admit it's kind of fun to have because rather than having a big thing around, I'm a pro anyway, so I just need this really to do what I need to do for right now. And it's kind of cool, but the pads, of course, MPC pads are known worldwide for being MPC pads. And the reason why is this. Pad functions. To hit it, to mute pads, to mute sounds, mute tracks, whatever you do, these pads on this machine are pretty good. So next here, I have my touch strip right here. I can press touch strip, and what happens, you can see Q-Link came up right there, right? And that's touch strip. Now from touch strip, I can do a lot of things. So here, for example, I'm in effects. So touch strip effects, right? And then I also can go to here, and these are notes. And those are the various notes I'm hitting there by just going here. And you see the little red light come up here, a little dot there, signifying I have contact with this touch strip. Now you see there's a one line here, then there's like two lines, two dashes, two dash, 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 line, dash, 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 line. So this is like a midpoint. And so let's say we're going to go to here, and we're in pitch bend here. Let's grab a note. So you see that? I grab that note, I hold that note down, I touch in here, I'm going down, and I'm going up. So the touch strip can change as I use it, which is really kind of cool. I can come to here, and this is our mod wheel now. I'll press the sound. So I'm changing the mod wheel. So I can go to here. And decreases as I go up. And that's the mod wheel. That's because I am, though, in this particular track, which is my glide lead, which you can see from the software is right here. Track 8. So I'm affecting that plugin. And I can go to here again, touch strip, and that last one was the mod wheel. I can sustain. And I'm just holding this on. I'm right there, pressing here on the top of this touch strip, and it's sustaining. Nothing decreases. But once I cross this midline, it happens. So watch this. Now watch this. I get to the bottom, it cuts it off totally. So, stays on. I let go, it's still sustaining. I tap there, it ends. That's how the touch strip works on our MPC Studio. It's kind of really cool. And that's not just for that though. I can also, expression, like here's Q-Link. I can use Q-Link a lot with this. That's what I like it a lot for. Or even pad levels. Or program levels. I can change program. Like here I'm going to program levels. The minute I go there, this is the volume for this program, which is that glide lead. So this is the program level. So I can come in here and that will be the level for that glide program. So depending on the program I select, I can change its level. I got that program selected. I press track strip again here. I want to go to the program level. I see it here. Let's say I go a different program. I'll go here to the sequence. I want to go to track 1, the drums. I'll come to here. I see that program right there, and it's the level for that program. I could play. I turn the drums off. Wait a minute. Make it a little loud now. So the drums in that track are being turned up. I can probably go to another track. The bass track. I'm controlling the bass track. I think you get the idea now. I'm able to control tracks, levels. All I did was go to touch strip, I selected the program level, and I'm right there at program level. I can do project stuff as well in project. Now this is our touch strip, and I'm going to talk more about it right now. So let's say, for example, I'm in touch strip and I want to look at, let me get a setting here, program level. Now here's program level right here. I would press shift in, then hit touch strip, and I get my program levels here. Now I'll see here that I have this level set up here by these little lights up here, these 5 lit lights. And I go to the track, that's track 1, so that means track 1 has this program selected, right? That's the program, which is that drum kit. And if I play from the top, that kit's out. So I'm controlling the level of that kit. Stop that. Now I can select another kit here too as well. Let's go to another track. And the bass. I'll press play. See, this is the bass right here. I can bring that per down. Bring it down. Stop that. And you can see I'm controlling the level of that track. It's programmed, as you can see on the screen as well, which is so cool about this. And I can also go with anything else here, obviously, and change its levels and go from right here. Bring it down. Now that's pretty cool. I like that a lot, where I can change the levels of any audio in the track. It's an easy way to actually mix and get me some really cool levels in the track, which I kind of like a lot. So this touch strip is really cool to use for that purpose, but it does more than just that, which is really kind of really cool. So I'm back here in touch strip here. Let's say I'm in touch strip. I want to find something else. Let's say I want to go to pad level, right? So I can come to here and I press this, and then I got pad level, right? So I got 2 here. So this is my second sound here, right? And that's its level there. And what's happening here for this one is 1. I'm changing 1. Let's go back to here. Let's do touch again. Let's go to pad level first. And it's touch, and I tap touch here. And then now we get a little box there. And then we see a cue link box. It says 2 there. And so we see 2 set up. So you'll see in the software that we have 2 set up. And you'll see here little dots right here for 2. So I can come to like here, and now my panning is to the left, fully to the left, or go fully to the right. I can set levels for this panning of that particular pad. And you'll see in the software here, it says here, the source and the parameter. I can come to here and change that actually. I can go here to mixer, change it to level. Now that's level. You see here I control the level now. Well, it's kind of cool, controlling the level. But what I really want to do is control the level of each separate sound. So normally what I'll do is I'll come into here, and I won't pick pad perform. I'm in cue links here. That's pad scene. So I don't want that. I want to come up here and let's say in the program. That particular program, I may want to change something in the program. Whether I want to change the cutoff filter here or the other filters in here. I can volume, change the filter off and on. The other filter off and on. Panning, tuning, panning, volume, tuning. And this is all within the source, which is this right here. That's pad 2, as you can see here. And I can pick my pad in any bank and pick that pad and change that parameter for that pad. And this is just with the cue link. Now what's important, you need to know actually what you're going to do and know how these cue links work along with your touch strip. So I was in pad, I was in program. We have project. I can come here to project, press project here. And now you see we have here, this is a touch strip project mode configuration. So I can configure what I want to use and how I want to use my touch strip. So I can select the source here. I can select any source, MIDI track, audio track, program, return, subgroup, the master level. And if I come to here, you'll see that the MIDI tracks are there. There's no audio, just one. That's empty. There's a program right there. Pick the program. I can pick that program, and I can pick what I want to control. It tells you what that program is. I go to pad here. I can pick the bank. Some programs are just programs, so I can do very little to them in this case, but some are just samples. In this case, I can pick the pads, as you'll see there in the edge. Like here's a program, the first one, which is a drum kit. I come back here, set the returns. I can set my returns up right here. I could do a return 1. And I'd be able to control the level for return 1, return and send. And for the mixer, I can control its volume, its panning, or even mute it. And that's just for our project mode configuration. So I want to talk more about now. I want to talk about this idea of recording with the note repeat button, or actually just using it so you know how it works on your MPC Studio Mark 2. So our note repeat button, of course, is right here. And then once you select this note repeat button, you'll see here on the touch strip which value is selected. Now currently this is at quarter notes. That's my quantized value or timing correction. You notice here that timing correction is on. So if I do this, we can hear that drum play at quarter notes. If I turn this off, we hear it just once. So in order to use my note repeat, timing correction must be on. Now next, I can come to here, I can play it like that. If it's on, I'm going to hold this down a little bit. So I can touch anywhere here on the channel strip, this 16th note triplets, 16th notes, 8th note triplets, 8th notes, 32nd note triplets, 32nd notes. So while holding it down, I can select whichever value I want to select for the quantized value. Now you'll notice here also that right here, it's quarter notes. Now since this has already been selected, it's configured, I can come to here, I can change that to quarter note triplets, 8th notes, 8th note triplets, 16th notes, 16th note triplets, 32nd note, 32nd note triplets, 64ths, and 64th note triplets. So it's all right here. Once I select Shift and use this config. Now this is how it works. This is how that works. I come to here, I'll press Shift, and then I'm here in config when I do that, right? Okay. Now if I come here like this, that's off. I go back on, that's on, because the light is on. We know we're there. So I'll come back to here. Let's say I do quarter notes. Suppose I want to lock it in. So I would just press Shift and then press note repeat. And now note repeat doesn't require me to have to hold down the note repeat button. It's latched on. So I can note repeat a bunch of notes. It's pretty simple. So not just one, but as many pads as I can hold down. And they will respond to whatever is the time correction value set here. Now next I'm going to look at full level. So right here is full level. If I tap that button, it's lit. I don't tap it, or I tap it again, it's off. So full level, just tap a little bit, tap it hard, and it actually gives you the sound you want to get, of course, a loud sound. So I can come to here, turn it on, got my note repeating latch. Each time I touch a pad, no matter how hard I hit this pad, or how soft I hit it, no matter what, it's still going to be loud. That full level of that particular sound. Now if I come to here, turn it off, it's all based on how hard I hit the pad, or in this case, how hard I push down the pad. So I'm pushing the pad down. As you can see, I can just make it go loud, and as I bring my finger up slowly, you can hear that the velocity is changing, which is very cool on MPC. Not many guys actually do this. We actually control it and have it just come up slowly. That is how I use a pad. Now for one thing, it's kind of cool, but also you can also do half levels. So I can come to here, I'll press Shift, and I'll press this here, and now it's gone red. Full level is now red, which means we're at half level, which you can see the words below here, say half level. I'll hold it down. Right? I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna latch this on. My note repeat. It's not full level, but it's half level. And that's how we use full level. Let's turn that off. The turn off is very simple. I just tap it and I'm right there. Now about the copy button. It's right here. Now once I select this button, you'll notice the pads will change. Their colors will change. And now I selected the button, and you'll see here, after I pressed it in, these pads have changed colors. And so what this is, I can copy a pad and move that sound someplace else. I can say, boom, I want to use that pad. Or I want to copy this pad. Or I want to copy this pad, that pad, right? Whatever it is. Let me take these off. This is kind of crazy. But that's the pad. It turns red. You'll see in the software, in the copy pad dialog box that you'll see, it'll say the bank, which is A, right? And the selected sound, copy from, is already selected as A3. If I can come in the software actually and just pick another sound, I set it at 4. Now once I select that, I have the ability to copy from pad 4. And then I want to pick a place to copy to. I could say I want to copy here where that bass drum's at. Right? Now if I do it, I'll select do it here on the computer. And now that's a hi-hat. It's a hi-hat here. I've selected it and now it's over here. Now if I don't like that, I'll go to undo. I'll undo that. That's here now, and that's back to there. It's pretty simple to do this. Now also, we have delete. So I can come to here, I'll hold down shift, and I'll select the copy button here, and you notice below it, it says delete. So, obviously it turns red, and now we can delete. And now you have a new dialog box in the center of your computer. And this is our delete pad. So I'll tap a pad to select it. That pad right there. I want to delete it. So I'll say, okay, I'll delete it. I'm going to come to here on the software, select delete right here. The sound is deleted from the pad. Now watch this. Nothing's there. But if I think I don't want to have this happen, what I will do is I'll go back and I'll come to here and I'll do undo. And guess what? That sound is right there still. And that's how we can copy and delete a pad or copy a pad someplace else. Now this also works on any bank. I can copy a pad from bank A and put it in bank E. Doesn't matter. The MPC will see that, and you can select that option too as well. Okay, so I've got a new track loaded in. I've got my browser still open here, so I want to close it. I'm gonna go here on my computer here. I'm gonna tap this button right there. I've closed the browser. We can see the entire grid view now. And so I want to play from the top. I'll press play start. My metronome comes in first. Okay, this is a track I got from the Gold Rush, which comes with your MPC Studio Mach 2. It might be free for everyone too, actually. I'm not too sure, but it's a project from the Gold Dust. I just want to pull it up here and do some work with it. So I want to show you how to erase. Now, first of all, I'm going to press the erase button. When I press the erase button, we get this dialog box here. It says erase. And it's pretty obvious. We have the sequence data. Then here to the right of it, we have the track data. So it tells us which sequence this is, number 4 sequence. And the next one, which is track 1, is Cypher Kit, 95 BPM. And we'll see below that we have start and end. So I can select the start and end of this entire sequence. I can also come to here where it says all. I can select which data I want to erase. I might want to erase the automation. So I come in automation, erase automation. I can erase note. I can erase except note. So here, I'll come to here, I'll select all, I'll press do it. It's all erased. I've got rid of everything. It's all done. So I've gotten rid of everything that was there. It's gone. I'll press undo. It's all back. Kind of cool. I'll press erase again. And I'll come back to here. I'll select automation. It says automation, all. Now I can select parameters too, but just all. We'll press do it. Now all the automation is gone. If automation was on there, let's play it back a little bit from the top and see if there was any automation. Obviously it sounds the same as it did before. There's no automation in that. I'll press erase again. So we get the idea. Pretty much I can erase stuff totally. But also in this case, let me close this out. We're going to select cancel. And next I can just hold this erase button down and then select what I want to erase. So I'll press cancel again. Now watch this. I'll press play from the top. I'll hold down the button. And now you see the dialog box doesn't appear when we're actually playing the sequence. Now we're going to give it the bass drum. And you'll see as it comes back around, those parts are missing. We'll stop that. Now, of course, if I want to put them back in, I'll select the undo button and hit the undo button again, see that? And we're back where we started from. And that's how it works. Now next I want to talk about this 16 levels button right here. The classic button that's on every single Akai Mpc. Now, I hit this button and I get levels. Now the last pad I struck, we'll see here, which is pad number 16, which we can see right there on the software. This is pad number 16. I'm going to change that. I want to go to pad number 1. So I go up to here. I select that pad, and now we're in velocities. So that means how hard I struck it. And the original pad, says number 4 here, pad number 1. I'll hit this. That's a bass drum. So as you can see on the MPC Studio Mark 2, you'll see here that this color of this is really like light. This is the dominant, this is the really strong red. So from 1 to 16, going from left to right, these pads get brighter and brighter. So that's the loudest pad, and that's the velocity. Now I like to use this in a pro level though. What I'll normally do is I'll make the verse bass drum, the first one, to be this loud. And the ones that are not on the beat, that loud. When I come to the hook, I'll make the drums this loud. And this gives that kind of feel as though it's getting a little bit louder. It's a subtle feel that you'll hear, but using the velocity is a great way for you to actually give some dynamic to a song. And of course, it's a classic thing when you come here and you got note repeat on. Note repeats here, I go to like, we're gonna go to shift, put note repeat on, we're gonna like this, we're gonna like this, and we got this, oh wow, it's going up in volume, plus it's repeating. And you can do the same thing here. Let's go up to here. I would say I would go to like 16th notes. I would go to my timing correction right here. It's on actually, and I'll grab the shift and come to here, and I go to 16th notes, and then I've got it going on with that thing, right? So I can probably change it. I may want to do it with a snare drum or something. So I'd come to here, go to pad bank, I'm gonna go to 2, right? So I'll come to here and I'll go like, right, like that. So I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna go to shift, we are there, shift to make sure it's gonna be latched on. And so it's going to increase in volume from the bottom to the top, which you've heard many times in a lot of different tracks. Now, I can also go to here. Let me go right over here actually and go to here. And we're going to do not just velocity, we can look at tuning. I can have tuning here for tuning for anything that's happening. I could tune a bass line. So let's go back in. I would go back to, so I go to track again here. I'll take out the repeat here. I'll turn this off. Back to track. Here's the bass. Okay. Let me try a different sound. Oh, this is good here. I'm going to tune this sound up right here. So my last pad touches this, I'll press 16 levels. And you can obviously see now that once I hit that pad, the software already knows I struck that pad last. It's selected, I'm in tuning, and now I'll play it again. Okay, so we're actually doing this in chromatic. And this is the Western chromatic scale. And it's all in chromatics. And you see they're all just semitones from each other. And this is the tuning that you get here in the MPC software. So I can go to here also. We can get filter. Let's sort of go from dark. So the filter's on here. We got a bypass filter on here. And it's dark, and then here it's fully bright, that filter. Next we have layer, but I don't have many layers here, so no layers on there actually. So I'm going to go back to here. We're going to go next to attack. So the attack cuts off. So I'm going to select a different instrument for attack. I'll select the bass drum. As a matter of fact, let's go with something else different. I'll come to here. I'm at A bank. I want to look at pad number 3. No, I think pad number 2. We'll go back with the snare drum. So it gets quieter here. So the attack is cut down, meaning how hard I actually struck the sound more than anything else to me, because the attack is like the beginning of the hit. When that drum first hits that snare drum, that's the first attack, but it cuts back. That's the loudest. Now in this lesson, we're going to go over track mute. And I've got a sequence here that came with the MPC, which you can get, of course, as a download. It's called the Master Class. It's in the MPC, or rather the Akai website for the MPC Studio download. It came with the machine, which is kind of cool. Also got Gold Rush with it too, which is kind of cool. Gold Rush is this other item that comes with it, which is an expansion pack. Yeah, expansion pack. Now, this song has got some tracks tied to it. I'm going to press Shift. I'm going to press the pad mute, and then it turns into track mute. And now I'm in track mute. Now you'll see here in the software, right over here on pad bank 1, that some pads are red and some pads are yellow. So yellow pads are going to play, the red pads have been muted. And this is sequence number 2. It's called 2 Masterclass. I'm going to play it back from the top. And I also want you to notice too that here, the automation read and write, that's lit. So that means if I have automation on, it's going to control all the automation that goes with this track. So I'll press play start, and here we go. That pad went off and on. Now these pads are on. Pads are going off and on, and they're actually tracks that have certain instruments on them, whether they're drums, percussion, keyboards, solo keyboard sounds, vocal samples, and some synth sounds as well. And some synth sounds too. Now press stop. Now you heard that go by and you saw the pads cut off and on. So next what I want to do, I want to see if this is automation. So I'm not too sure. So I'll come to here, I'll press shift. And I'm going to turn to here and select the automation read, write. And now, as you can see, this is off. So the automation is off. Now I'll play it from the top again and see if that was automation or not. So you see, the pads are going off and on anyway. Here again, these two went off, that went off, come back on. Pad 9 is off now. Now pad 9 is on. All the tracks are on, obviously, because they're all yellow. And now we cut some tracks off. 7, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now we cut off track number 8. So obviously, this is not automation. This is off and on. And so I can turn them off and on at will. So let's play this again. I'm going to sort of like mess with the mix they got here. So it's still playing for automation here as I play with it. Let's stop that. Let's play from the top again and see if I had any effect on that. None whatsoever. I did some moves here. They weren't recorded in, so this is not automation. Let's play it back again the way it was. What I want to do next is actually record a new set of mutes into this project. So I'm going to go back to the top so I can press this button where it says start right here. Back to the top again. And now I want to press overdub and play. Press overdub and play start. Press stop. Now I can also do solo, but let's play it back first. So we can see that we did change it a little bit. Now if I don't like that, I can go back into the software here. So I've got my pencil tool selected here. I'm gonna go to my selector tool here, and I can look at it, say, the very beginning. I can scroll to the top here. We got drums. Down here to track 12, we have the chopped vocals. So I can come in here and select one. let's chop vocals. We'll select this first. And I can come to here and I can sort of move that in. Or go all the way to the end and get rid of the entire mute. Now what I can also do, grab the mute, and I'll come in here to the very end, or wherever that mute's at. Let's grab this one right here, actually. I want to go to right here. Now I'm going to go here to zoom, select zoom, and sort of zoom in there. And now I can see my mutes here. I'll come in here I can select these mutes. Drag that in. Drag this in as well. And I can get rid of mutes and then play it back from the top. It'll be different. I can even come to here. Let's scroll down some more. And I'll take these mutes here. Let's go over. It's hard to get down here. There we go. I'll grab this. I'll see the beginning. I'll pull it back. Or I'll get rid of that one. There's one here ready. I'll grab this one. I'll get rid of that one. That's pretty good. So now I'll play it from the top again. So now it sounds different. That's how we can record mutes, and it's pretty cool doing it with your MPC Studio MK2. I sort of like that a lot, and I can always go back to the software, sort of adjust or get rid of them, but it's a great way to record mutes and practice to see how the mix of a song will work for you. Now, what I also like to do sometimes is just to see how solos work, find out which pads, rather which tracks on those pads are good for soloing. And so I'll come into the software here and I'll select solo. Right here. And I'll go back to the top again. I'll go to start button right here, back to the top. And then I'll press overdub and play. Start. Then turn off solo. Now press stop. So you can record solo and you can record track mute at the same time. Now I want to show you about getting plugins in, and how to get your plugins into your program and select different sounds. And so here we have a brand new, totally brand new sequence. Here it says 3, start here. And I'm on track 2 here. And I'm not doing drums, I'm gonna do some sort of synths, pull some synths in here first to get an idea of how the synth sounds. So I've got this master class, and this is the sequence number 3 of the master class that you get from Akai. So I'm gonna come into here now, and I see it's a track there, right? I know I'm in the right sequence, so I'll press shift. I am in that sequence. I'll press the track select again. I'm on track 2. I'll come here to program, and then I wanna go to shift, and I wanna get a track type. So here I wanna do a plugin. I'll turn my data wheel here, and I'm at a plugin right now. You'll notice on the software, you'll see the keyboards come up right here to your left. These are the keyboard sounds right there, or the keyboard for the sounds. So I want to go into here again, I'll press program, and now I want to look for some sounds. So we got sounds here. I keep hitting the pad. These are these front rows. Now also, you'll notice too, if I come to here in my pad bank 1, right? Here's pad bank 2, 3, 4. So we're moving up in octaves. So this is the low, then 1 octave up from here, 1 octave up from here, 1 octave up from here. So next, I want to look at whether we're going to use a certain key or chromatics or whatever, right? So I'll come back, I'll press shift here, I'll come back here and I'll press this button right here, which is 16 levels. And now we can see off. We can go to chromatic, go to notes. We can go to chords, chromatic chords, progressions, and they're all here for us. So let's go to chromatics. And they're right there, right? Let's go here again. Notes. Let's go up an octave. And octave all the way up. Just notes. Here we have chords. Let's go down an octave. Okay, so we have chords there. And next we have chromatic chords. Now here, I've got chromatic chords after chords. Then next I have progressions here. So and I can press shift. I'm going to press 16 levels again. And here we see I can change the key. So my root note here would be C, C sharp, all the way up to G sharp. Back down to C, and all the way down to A. So we have everything here for us. I'll press shift again and press 16 levels. Now these are octaves. You notice here that I'm on the first pad bank. Before this was low, now it's high. Because we changed the octave here. I can change the octave and go all the way up here. And we're going to 4, 5, 6, 7 to right there. I can bring this down here. Let's go back up to here. So you see, I'm changing the octave. I can press shift again. And now we can see chord progressions. Now we have some progressions already in here, which are like the master class which comes with this software. We have a lot of different progressions we could use here. You need to select the right sound that you want to use. But let's start here from the top, get an idea of what's going on here. Here's our classical progressions. That's pretty high. So I'm going to go back in here again. I'm going to press shift and go to 16 levels. And bring this down. Okay, great. That's good right there. Good. Now next I'll press shift and 16 levels again. Now I'm back at progressions. I'm going to go up here to the pad bank and go to like here, the third pad bank down. And that's classical. We can go to here to, let's see here. Here's gospel. Bring it down. And that's gospel. So as you can see, there are a lot of different progressions and the actual progressions for each genre. There's guitar chords. And then we also have here, what else we got here? I saw something in house also as well. Here's hip hop. So pick what works for you. Try them all, actually. This is house. So we can get to different progressions as well. And there are so many in here. And once you find the right one, you're good to go. But try them out. Now, a lot of times I'm using these different sounds. And once I get there, I can come into here and actually look at the sound, sort of attenuate and change some of these parameters here. Now, you can also, let's close this window out here a little bit. I come to here and click on here where it says preset, and I can see all the presets. I can come to here and let's see, let's try this one. So we're using here, this is the Soul Progressions. So I'd come back to here to program, and this is a Fender Rogues. But if I go back here to Shift and 16 levels, I'm in Progressions, and as I change my progressions here, I'll come back here again, Shift and 16 levels. I'll go back here again one more time, Shift and 16 levels. That's up or down. Here we go, R&B progressions here. So I'm in the progressions. And so I've also changed the preset. And this is a way you can change the presets right here on my MPC Studio MK2, or I can do it in the software too as well. So we'll go back to the software again here. And that's soft tines. I come to basic. I can do a tube type sound as well here. Let's try this toy EP tube. And you can hear the tube sound there also. I like the soft tines. This is pretty good. So I can go back to track right here. I see my track's empty, so I can come down to here and do a track type. I'll press Shift, track type, and I'm going to make this. Now, I have a progression set up here. Now that's just me playing the sounds, or the chords actually here, as progressions. And I can also do arpeggios. Now, I've got a note repeat on right here. Here's note repeat. I think I'll latch it on. Now it's on. It's at eighth notes right now. You hear that? So by using note repeat, it'll do an arpeggio. It's kind of cool. so you can do arpeggios as well. So right now what I want to do though is I have a beat on here, I think. We'll play that. Okay, so I want to take my metronome, first of all, and change the metronome here. So I'm going to come over here and look at this metronome. I got a count in for it. I want to change something here. I want to change it's so it's a count in for record when in record. So I'm going to make sure I'm in record. I want to use it and play on. This is good. Enabled, yep. And the rate is good. So I want to check my metronome. Good, the output's perfect. So now what I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press record and play and try something. Stop. Now, we don't see anything at all going on in the parameters, right? There's nothing here in that at all. So what we have to do always, we have a track. I got a brand new track I want to record to. I need to go to here and put this into record. Now I'll be able to record on that track. We'll try it again. We're going to record and go to play start. Stop. We just recorded on that track. So we don't see it right now, right? So you want to scroll down here and then there it is right there when you record to a track. I just wanted to see if it can record. We got to count in. You can always go back and then change the notes, move them where you want to move them to, but you can also do arpeggios using note repeat and set them up too as well. Now I'm going to come back here now. I'm going to just press undo. I'm going to get rid of note repeat. I'll press record and play from the top. Now, if you miss them and you sort of mess up a little bit, you can always just quantize them right to the number, right? And so I'm going to do right here, I want to get a better feel rather than just quantize these things in. I'd rather just drag it out to here and sort of make sure I got it. So I drag it out to here too as well and drag this out. So I can get them to feel like they're right, almost that human feel to them. I don't want to have this total computerized keyboard recording. We'll press play from the top again. Again, so we've got a part here that's off as well. So I have to sort of do this because it's a lot easier and then it sounds smoother to me when I'm doing this type of feel. But depending on what you want to do with your feel, that's always cool. I may have a note coming a little bit late or a little earlier too, like right there, and we'll play from the top again. So you get the idea. Now the beginning comes on a little bit late here. So I'm hitting the pad a little bit, trying some experiments here, but actually this is kind of cool. I come to here, just a little bit, not perfect, just about right there, and press play. from the top. Okay, you can hear that sort of beat going on. And now I have this dark synth pad. Back to the top again. We'll press stop. That's how I can find my instrument, pick the octaves, get a nice progression I like and the feel for it, get a drum section. I can do arpeggios or just do strictly chords. And it makes it easier for me to actually record these parts in, and I can also fix them and give them more of a human feel. Now, I can also add ARP in here. So I've got ARP selected, and I also have note repeat selected here. And then here, you'll notice here I have 16th notes right there. That's 16th notes right there. And I can hit a pad. So I'm going to try and put this against that same smooth background with that dark synth pad. I'm going to press record and play start. Press stop. Okay, so I've done a lot of stuff here with my MPC Studio Live, my MPC Studio Mach 2. And so it's been cool using it here with this pad perform. But it's a way more easier right here for me to just go here to progressions. I can click here. I can pick the progressions I want to use. I can go to notes or chromatics right here very easily on the computer. I can go to pad rows, start on the root. We got the root note. I can pick a natural minor right here. I can pick any minor key I want actually from here. I can click on right here and get what I'm looking for if it's available for this particular progression. And then we have octaves and we have pads. Pad as played for velocity. And then here I can pick out various progressions, from classic to gospel, guitar, hip hop, house, jazz, keys, new neo soul, and R&B and trap. So you can just come here and pick them out. It's much more easier than using the MPC Studio Mach 2 because I can see them right here. It's easier. Even going here to pick out the various presets for this hype sound is my hype sound here. I can change the parameters as I want directly in the software. Click on that again. I can come down here to presets and pick any preset I want. I can also select my favorites and put them in a list. So I like that a lot too as well. The only problem I have is using the MPC Studio Mach 2 is that it's not really necessary to do that here. It's good to select everything on the software and then go back and use the pads to play the chords, the instruments, or the notes either way, or set up a keyboard actually. Get a little small mini keyboard, set it up into your computer or into your MPC Studio and start playing. So it's much more easier that way. Otherwise, that's it. Now I have another parameter I could use. I come to here, touch strip again, and I'm still in mod wheel, but I want to go now to pad level. I've got some pads here. Right, so let's say I want to make that louder. Or lower. You notice here as I hit the pads that the level appears here. I'll bring this down again down to there. I'll bring this one down to here. And that's for that specific program. So if I come back here to track, I'll see that's my drum program right there that it's set up for. Now this will work again with another set of drums that are here as well. So I'll go back to my first set again and go back to the A bank. So I'm going to get some of these sounds, like here's this bass sound. I'm going to bring that down a little bit. So I come to here, and I'll just bring it down to here. I can bring this down. So we can use the touch strip along with our screen will see that, or we can use our data wheel too as well. So I can tap the touch strip, or I can turn my data wheel to get to any specific parameter I want to change that belongs to the touch wheel app right here in our MPC Studio Mach 2.